Did you guys know there is no specific legal limit to the number of presidential pardons that a president can give out or grant while he's in office? So the presidential pardon was granted by Article 2, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution. This power is broad and discretionary, that the president can issue as many pardons as they deem appropriate. There are some constraints put on the president. One is federal offenses only. Pardons cannot be applied to state crimes. Those are under different jurisdictions or state governors. And timing. Pardons can be issued at any time during the presidency, including after the crime has been committed and even before charges are filed. A preemptive pardon, which is what President Joe Biden is now considering based on this article from ABC News. Last one was the exception that the president cannot use the pardon to interfere with any impeachment process or proceeding. Franklin D. Roosevelt granted over 3,600 pardons during his 12 years in office. That's the highest number for any president. This is something that we really got to discuss, guys, because I just did a video talking about President Trump giving out, I think it was something like maybe 237 pardons. And I thought that was a lot. And let's see, the only reason I asked this question is because the other night I was thinking, okay, you have a sitting president. He can give out as many pardons as he wants. There has to be some sort of barrier to stopping a president from abusing this kind of power. Because if you have President Biden deciding to give out preemptive pardons, which is what basically is what he's done for Hunter Biden, he's basically saying he hasn't been accused, he hasn't been brought to court. There's nothing really on the books saying that he's being charged with anything for other things. But we're going to give him a pardon going back like 11 years to just blanket everything clean. We can make sure anything that fell under that timeline is covered. You know, okay, tell me, son, when did you start your criminal activities? Oh, you started it here? Okay, we'll go back as far as that time and then we'll cover it to up to now so that nothing you've done, you've got a clean slate, it's wiped clean. My assumption is that President Biden, one of the most senile presidents ever in the history of the United States of America, I believe he's been sat down with some of the political people. You know, a lot of the Democrats sat him down and said, look, Trump is going to take office come January 20th, and we need to make sure we control anything that he could possibly do to us. You need to pardon us in advance and go far back, because if you really think about it, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, all of these people, Liz Cheney, every single one of these people, including Tony Fauci, all of these people have been doing, in my opinion, and this is just an opinion, criminal acts their entire career. He would need to give a blanket pardon that goes back to when they started their political career. This, to me, this is the part that's confusing, right? Like, there's no legal limit. Why would they put this in the Constitution? As I was looking through this, among the US presidents that have been recently in office, you know, think Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, I wanted to find out who are the people who handed out the most pardons. It was not who you think. Many of you probably are like, it's Donald Trump, it's Donald Trump. We hate him so much. He's crooked. He's going to give out the most pardons and help all of his friends and colleagues that have been, you know, doing horrible crimes. No, that is not true at all. Actually, it was Barack Obama. Over his 2 terms, he issued a total of 1,927 clemencies and 212 pardons and 1,715 commutations. So he's had a lot of different things that he was focusing on during this time. Of course, they want to make it seem like he's so wonderful and notable. These were things that were focusing on criminal justice reform, especially during his 2nd term. You know, people who were in there for small offenses like drugs. And while that might be true, he handed out way more pardons than Donald Trump. Donald Trump only gave out 143 pardons, 94 of which are commutations. So if you really think about it, who has the bigger number of pardons? And why do presidents have this much power? That is the question we have to ask, because I think this whole thing, there should have been some limit on it. It should have been like, you're only allowed 200. And that way these presidents have some sort of way to actually narrow down who is actually the most important to them and who actually are they trying to keep out of jail. Because it's insane the kind of power that they're given. And I don't put it past Joe Biden to just hand down all of these, pardons for everybody, because they're terrified. They're shaking in their boots of Donald Trump. They're so scared. Think about it. If you're not guilty of something, if you didn't do anything, what would you have to be scared about? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You guys tell me if this is something you see President Biden doing. They're just touting it right now as a thought, but I don't know. I think he might do it. Do you think that President Joe Biden should pardon the Democrats? And if so, should he do all? If you enjoyed this content today, or you just like these type of conversations, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Do respond to as many comments as possible here and on TikTok. Remember, as always, think for yourself and have a great day.